Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Chaos Head Noah. It may not look like it, but we are actually on the Steam version. So I sat down and recorded what I was thinking was going to be 2 episodes, but well, circumstances changed during the almost 2-hour long recording session that was episode 1 of this brand new playthrough, and I found out near the end of it, because I was getting notifications and such from many different individuals on YouTube, Discord, Twitter, it was everywhere. The news that came out that Chaos Head Noah will actually not be banned on Steam, and the decision to ban it was completely reversed. Everything is good to go. We are here. So what is my plan going forward with this lovely information? So the plan is to use the Committee of Zero patch, not because of, you know, like, everybody says that the official translation here is absolute doo-doo, and you have to use the patch if you want the best experience ever. And I mean, I recorded for an hour and a half of the gameplay in episode 1, and it was fine. There were some things, you know, that I wish were better, but it was fine. I wasn't confused. Everything was fine. So I'm not going to sit here and say that there has been an overreaction regarding a lot of things. I mean, everything here is kind of sloppy in a way with bringing it to the West. I've never been a fan of how the science adventure games ran on PC. They've always been very buggy. This one is no different. I will say that it has technical issues right off the bat. If you have a high display or high frame rate display monitor, if you have something higher than 60 hertz, well, yeah, things are going to be a little weird, but you can actually cap it. So just, it's technical issues that have so far been the problematic one, but translation-wise, not so much. So I'm going for the patch because, well, one, it's going to undo the censorship, which is absolutely a problem that will come along later on in the run here. The translation will be nice. The font fixing will be nice. Well, actually, something that will really help me with the commentary. But so far, the translation is not my main reason for going to the patch. And I'm going to continue along with the playthrough because I don't think it's detrimental by any means. But I'm just gonna continue along. I'll go a little slower. The episodes won't be like an hour long each or anything like that, just a little less. And I won't record like every day or something like that. I'll take it a little slower so we can allow the Committee of Zero to get their patch going. And then I will use it. That is my choice. I could just completely omit it and say hello to censorship, but censorship is actually the big one. The technical fixes and all that comes second. Translation is a little further down the list. I just wanted to explain that. I know a lot of people have voiced their concerns, and I appreciate it. I do. I want you all to be able to express your opinions and concerns regarding the series that we all love here. So this is just my perspective and what I think so far, but obviously we've only done an hour and a half. We have much more to do. So let us jump back into Eyes in Eyes. Also, I just want to... Alright, I just want to say thank you for the support on that first episode. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad that you all were totally an understanding of where I was coming from, having recorded under the impression that yep, the Nintendo Switch is the only way to play this game right now. So I'm glad that everybody was supportive and understanding of that one. Happy to have you all on board. Really do appreciate the support on episode 1. Hopefully the rest of the playthrough is enjoyable as well. Also, sound settings. I mimicked exactly how I had them on the Switch, but that might be a little quieter or different in some other regards here on Steam. So, as I said in episode 1, we'll just make adjustments as we go. I feel like we just heard this. A little different. Different lyrics. A clear voice echoed across Miyashita Park in the depths of the night. Oh, hey. Okay, it's her. On top of the pedestrian bridge over Meiji Street, as the cars came and went below. Yeah, she's been, like, referenced or cameoed or whatever in the other science adventure games. I can't remember where. The girl they call Fess leaned up against the bridge's safety rail, seemingly oblivious to the noise below. Damn, she's so cool. Okay, I'm on keyboard and mouse. I actually have no idea how to get rid of the, of everything, so we could just admire what we are seeing here. Maybe it's this key? No. Oh, I just skipped something. And I was just given a bunch of gifts on Steam at the exact same time. Okay. I will look at that later. The person who gave me the gifts, you know who you are. And now I have to go into the logs, because I'm pretty sure I just skipped something. She had no audience. If she'd done a real street performance, she probably would have had at least 100 people stopping to listen, but for now, Fess had chosen instead to hide herself behind the veil of night. Yeah, what sucks is that there's no way for me to know what the keyboard and mouse controls are. And, I mean, there's some indications of what they are, but they only show the controls of an Xbox controller, of which I do not have. I've got a PlayStation controller, of which I would have to choose the right Steam layout for, but I personally prefer mouse and keyboard. I mean, how else am I supposed to give myself carpal tunnel while I'm just leaving my arm in such an uncomfortable position for like an hour? Oh well, I guess we don't need to look at the CG. All she had to do was stand here in the silence. Then she could be one with the darkness, and for a moment at least, freed from the filthy air of Shibuya. That's how it seemed to her anyway. What's she looking at? Darkness? Suddenly she looked up at the night sky. The clouds that had covered it were slowly parting and a faint ray of moonlight trickled through. But the bright, dazzling lights of Shibuya were hiding the hesitant twinkling of the stars. Yeah, if you live in like a busy-ass city, you ain't seeing stars ever. Fess closed her mouth and reached up toward the sky. Is that her name? It's not FES, right? It's like Persona 3, right? Why is she also saying that? Why is she saying that? I spent the entirety of the next 24 hours in Beslard. I didn't even quit to eat. I dedicated myself fully to erasing Takumi Nishijo and being Nightheart. In ESO, I was a god. I didn't need to be scared of any demons. Everybody respected me. I always thought how nice it would be if I could spend forever in this wonderful world. Well, according to Sword Art Online, someday you'll be able to. What are we doing? Oh, he's typing something. Got an Angel Hollow. Oh, we got a knock at the door, I think.
Huh?
Oh. Oh. I'd finally gotten one of the ultra rare drops I wanted, and was incredibly excited. All the desperation I'd been feeling had just blown away. An Angel Halo had a drop rate of 0.0001%. It was completely useless and just changed the way your character looked. But this also meant that everybody could see that you had an angel halo, and they would all be really jealous.
やった。ナイトハルトがまた一歩神に近づいた。
こら、開けろ。
Shut up. Who's that pounding on my door anyway? I'm enjoying my new rare item. Don't interrupt me.
バカ鬼。
ゲ。
That voice. The minute I heard it, my good mood vanished. It was an assassin sent by my parents, my little sister, Nanami. This was gonna be a pain in the butt. Now you can say yes, it's okay. Damn it. A storm was about to roll in. I didn't want to open the door at all, but if I kept it shut, my parents would be the next ones to come. They'd tell me to stop living by myself and come home. My dad was pretty much the owner of this building. If he wanted to kick me out, he could. This just wasn't fair. Shut up. I know it. I know that. Okay. It's obviously shut up, but it's like with a, not a slang to it, but it's an accent, kind of maybe. I don't know. Don't yell so loud. You hear it all the time from all the greasy guys in anime. She was still banging on the outside of the door. The walls of a shipping container are a single piece of metal, so any sound echoes really loudly. She knew that and was doing it anyway. I unlocked the padlock on the inside and opened the doors outward. I had no other choice.
あ、やっと出てきた。生存確認。
Huh, okay. So that's her. You know what? I've seen, pictures, sprites, whatever of the characters, and I don't know who is who, but okay, so that's our sister. Got it. Nanami. This tiny shrimp of a girl was my little sister. She was 1 year younger than me.
呼んでるんだから返事くらいしてよね。お兄死んじゃったかもって思ったじゃん。
Okay, so I'm thinking all the sounds could be maybe a little bit louder. Maybe. Let's see. Come on, we can move you up there. Music, I'm not really wanting to increase. Sound effects, we can kind of increase. Same thing with movie volume. We'll just see how that works, I guess. Every time I saw her, she was complaining about something. As you could tell from the way she was standing with her hands on her hips and pouting, she was a little brat. And if you ask me, she was nothing more than a huge nuisance.
うわ、相変わらず部屋の中汚。ちょっとは片付けなよ。
Damn, the music just got louder for some reason. Yeah, okay, maybe the music volume didn't need to be increased. I don't know. See, this is just one of those things. Like, I just have to constantly, fuck with this, and it's, really annoying. Also, the volume can be, right here for voices. And now I think we're okay. Nanami walked right into my room without even bothering to ask if it was okay. She thought she could do whatever she wanted just because she was my little sister. To those of you out there who think little sisters are moe, I have a message for you. Face reality. Huh. Ain't that just ironic, my friend? But also, yeah, I have a sister as well. I get it. Well, I guess she was kind of cute. If you were a lolly fan, she might totally be your type. But as her real brother, I didn't feel that way about her. At all. If anything, she seemed like a little baby to me. Oh, but I don't mind lolly characters. Just, they have to be 2D.
カビくさ。お兄の部屋って相変わらず不潔。掃除しろっていつも言ってるじゃん。どうしてしないの？まあ、どうせ掃除してくれる彼女なんかいないだろうし。お兄ってズボラだからこうなるのは目に見えてるけどさ。
What's that supposed to mean?
こうなったらやっぱりナナが掃除しに来てあげるしかないかな。
だが断る。
Oh, come on.
なんでよ。
Nah, it's a fucking stupid ass
お前
line.
に部屋荒らされたくない。
きっと それがわざわざ生存確認しに来てあげてる妹に言うセリフ？
Well, you're not showing your older brother any respect, are you? And nobody asked you to see if I was alive anyway.
まったく、なんでこんな面倒ばっかりかけさせる兄弟と血つながってるんだろう。たまに嫌になっちゃうよ。はあ、なんか喉乾いちゃった。飲み物もらうね。
Nanami walked to the back of the room and opened the fridge, again without even bothering to ask. Okay, so this is indeed the delusion system.
コーラしかないじゃん。ミルクティーとか用意しといてよ。
So I don't remember seeing the left and the right things here last time on the Switch. But I definitely saw them whenever I was coming back up to the point where I saved, and obviously now here. So, good delusion? Or bad delusion? We could go good. I mean, we can start along that path. What the fuck is that sound, my man? There's nothing here. Okay, that's what she was saying. Okay.
知らんがな。
しょうがないな。じゃあ、コーラもらうね。
As usual, she seemed to have no intention of asking for her brother's permission. She grabbed a bottle of soda, one that I'd already drank from, out of the fridge. She hesitated for a moment before swallowing it down. Is she trying to be some moe type of whatever sort? Delusion time, maybe? I could see her pale white throat moving up and down. I heard the sound of her gulping down the liquid.
せめてコップ使えよ。
Don't gulp something down, you're a girl. It's indecent. This is why 3D girls are shit. Oh my god. She put down the soda and looked at me, a little annoyed. Was her face a little red? Or was I imagining it?
だって、ナナはお兄と関節キスしたかったんだもん。
Huh?
I certainly didn't expect to hear that. She stared at me with a pouty expression. My whole body felt like it was struck by lightning. I couldn't turn my gaze away from her dewy eyes. This was like something out of an H game. I had a chance to seduce my own little sister. I don't like this direction at all.
だとしたら、ナナ、悲しくなっちゃうな。言っとくけど、お兄相手じゃなきゃ、こんなことしないんだからね。
Nanami's voice was getting softer and softer.
お兄のバカ。
She whispered in a barely audible voice, and her head dipped down. Her usual bratty attitude had disappeared completely.
ねえ。
I really don't like this all of a sudden. What the fuck?
関節だけじゃ嫌だな。
I tried to swallow, but my saliva refused to go down my throat. That's how much I was freaking out. I didn't understand what Nanami meant.
お兄とキスしたいわ。お兄が欲しいよ。
Maybe choosing a delusion was a bad idea. Maybe we should have just, kept on going raw. Maybe that's not the right term to use here, but as I stood there in shock, she took a step towards me. Why? I'd always thought of Nanami as just an annoying little sister. But now my heart was pounding so fast.
いいじゃん。16年間も我慢してきたんだよ。
Nanami reached out her hands and pulled me in.
キスして。
She tilted her jaw just a little, as if to beg me to do it. We can end the delusion anytime now, game. Come on. And then she closed her eyes. My answer was...
いや、その理屈はおかしい。
Thank you. Thank you. This is just wrong. What kind of delusion was I having? I'm freaking myself out. I felt sick and disgusted with myself. Man, I am a creepy dude. Creepy. Oh, I wonder, what does creepy stand for in the tips? 2000s era Japanese otaku would sometimes add stars to the word creepy to make it even creepier. Gotcha. I always tell myself, If Nanami was my stepsister and maybe had more of a cute little sister attitude, I might have just been one of the life's luckiest people.
どうしたの？
Nanami finished drinking her soda and looked at me in confusion. Crap, that delusion was making me feel all funny. I took a deep breath and wiped the disgusting delusion out of my mind.
もう帰れよ。
You confirmed that I was still alive. You should be done now, right? Why do you have to come into my room all the time?
お兄、冷たい。
Nanami seemed annoyed at my words. She was glaring at me with a frown. I didn't want to deal with it, so I just looked away.
せっかく心配して様子を見に来てあげてるのに。お兄ってずっとここに引きこもって誰とも喋らずに一日を終えちゃうことだってあるんでしょ？女の子と話す機会だってどうせ全くないんだよね。
Shut up. Don't make fun of me. I'm not interested in 3D girls. I don't need to talk to them.
言ってみればお兄と話す女の子はナナだけってことじゃん。だからさ、もっとナナのこと大事にしてよ。そしたら女の子との接し方もちょっとは分かってくるはずだし。
As she spoke, she picked up one of my figures, Hikaru-tan, from Suicide Toward the Light. She stared at it. Hey, don't touch one of my wives. If you get a fingerprint on her, I'm seriously gonna kick your butt.
あと、お兄は自分のことにもっと気を使って。こんなお人形さんにうつつを抜かしてる場合じゃないよ。ナナはお兄の死体の第一発見者になんかなりたくないからね。
What was my little sister trying to say? She was starting to sound like mom lately. What I meant by that was, she was annoying.
いいから帰れよ。
そんなに帰れ帰れ言わないでよ。お兄のバカ。まだこっちには用事が残ってるの。
She was starting to get hysterical. If I made her any madder, she might go berserk. I had to stay calm.
携帯買いに行こ
は？
What was she talking about?
う。お父さんがそうしろって。お兄が携帯持てばいつでも生存確認できるじゃん。お金はナナが預かってきたから今から買いに行こうよ。今時携帯持ってない人なんていないよ。時代に取り残されちゃうよ。
Shut up, trend follower. I know a lot more about what's popular than you do. I've got the internet, you know. Okay, maybe most kids my age haven't had a phone, but I didn't. There was no reason why I would want one. I had nobody to call or text, and I didn't want to spend money on something I wasn't going to use.
だから行こう。
Nanami pulled my figure back on the shelf and peered up at me. Or
どう
put
せ
it
お
back.
兄
Did I
は
say
機種とか
pull?
わかんないだろうからナナと同じ機種にしちゃいなよ。
Sometimes I can read, sometimes I don't know what I've read. She took her phone out of her bag and waved it in my face.
ほら、これがナナの色が可愛いでしょ。
Not really. That's kind of bright and annoying.
ついでだからストラップも同じのあげるよ。
うわ、なんという手抜きキャラ。
Hey, that's fucked up, actually. Wait, I gotta stand up for that. Hanging from the strap was a small figurine of a character that was... Well, whatever it was, it certainly wasn't cute. It looked like something created by a rookie designer with no talent at all. It wasn't cute, or even creepy cute. It was just creepy.
手抜きじゃないもん。ゲロカエルンはこういうデザインなの。今すっごく流行ってるんだからね。
Oh, that's what it was called. Okay. I couldn't remember.
女子高生の流行なんてお兄が知ってるわけないか。そういうとこを直せば少しは女子と会話成立すると思うよ、きっと。
Quiet, girl. What the hell kind of name is Garo Froggy? There was no way this thing was popular. The poor girl didn't realize she was being manipulated by the media.
っていうか今はゲロカエルンの話じゃなくて。いいから携帯買いに行こうよ。あ、別にお揃いがいいとか言ってるわけじゃないからね。家族で同じ機種だと基本料金が割引されるサービスがあるからだよ。家族で持ってないのはお兄だけなんだからね。
いらない。
なんで？お金はお父さんが出してくれるんだよ。
必要ない。
It would just be a nuisance. If I had a phone, Mom would probably call every day. And if I didn't pick up, she'd send her pet assassin, Nanami, here to check on me. In other words, it would just be a nuisance. One that would make my life a lot harder. I didn't want that at all.
もう信じらんないよこのバカ鬼。もう帰る。
ああ、そうしてくれ。
I opened the door for her to go, but she didn't move. She just glared at me, shoulders heaving with rage.
ほんとバカ。アホバカ鬼。駅まで送ってくれるとかしてよ。
嫌だね。
I'd never walk her to the station all the time she'd come before. Why would I start now?
だって最近殺人事件とかで物騒じゃんか。こういう場合心配するのが兄弟ってもんでしょ。
Careful, you're gonna start up some flashbacks. For a moment, what happened yesterday felt like it was going to come flooding back to me. I shook my head desperately, trying to drive the thought out of my mind.
どうでもいいし。
Whoever the NewGen killer was, they weren't going to be interested in a little kid like Nanami. No, they were interested in like 5 of them, apparently.
ナナが死んでもいいって言うんだ。
She was crying. I must have made her sad. Or really made her sad. It felt great. That's what you get for disrupting my peaceful life. This would be my little way of getting revenge. That's what you get.
バカ死んじゃえ。鬼なんか猟奇的に殺されちゃ
Yep, there's all the famous lines. She knocked me aside and ran out the door. At last the storm was over. The room was quiet now that she was gone. It was much nicer. The base was my home. Nothing was allowed to happen here unless I wanted it to. I sat down at the computer and moved the mouse a little to wake it up from my Serotan screensaver. Then I took a big swig from the soda bottle on the table, but it was empty.
あ、しまった。これ、ナナミがさっき飲んだやつだ。
Oh no, I just had an indirect kiss with my little sister. If Nanami was a little sweeter, it might have been great, like something out of an H game. But with her personality, it just made me feel sick. I closed the cap on the bottle and threw it into the big garbage bag in the corner of my room. It missed and bounced off the wall, rolling under the bed. But whatever, and that is how the room becomes dirty. We've solved that mystery. Now then, time to get back to ESO. Time to forget all the annoying stuff that happened in the real world. Yes, this is what matters. But sadly, I was forced to bring my time in Beslard to an end after just a single day. We gotta go to school? When I left the base early in the morning, my mental state was back in the dumps, and any improvement that I'd felt from my time in the game was gone. Why did I have to go to school?
なんで今日なんだよ。最低最悪だ。
But I couldn't stay home. If I stayed home, it would ruin my whole attendance schedule, and then I wouldn't be able to graduate.
卒業って。何を卒業するって言うんだよ。
It was my idea, but still, I couldn't help but complain. When I got to the luxury residences of Shoto, I suddenly realized I'd been feeling someone looking at me the whole time. But it wasn't God's gaze. There wasn't that weird feeling on my neck. Oh, yeah, there was somebody. I saw it. I wasn't really paying attention, and I was making sure my recording was going okay, but as I looked back, I did see a little figure. As I turned the corner, I took a quick look behind me without turning around, and caught a glimpse of a girl in a Suime uniform. Was it the demon from 2 days ago? Suddenly my heart started to pound, and I was so nervous that I started to walk funny. I started to feel like I no longer belonged in the quiet morning around me. I could hear the sound of birds chirping on the power lines, and the faint sound of the morning news from the televisions inside the houses around me. This definitely didn't feel like a place where any kind of murder could happen, and yet I felt like I was about to have delusions of myself being brutally killed. No, I needed to calm down. I hadn't gotten a clear look at their face, had I? And if they were a Sume student, It was only natural that they'd be following me, and they were headed to school just like I was. Okay, I had an idea. Instead of following the path that led straight towards school, I made a right instead. I fought down the urge to turn around and try to act as naturally as possible. I kept walking, trying to contain my nervousness, and after a minute, I quietly turned around. Oh, okay, well that's not the pink-haired gal from the other night. This is definitely somebody different, somebody that we are yet to meet. Our eyes almost met, and I quickly turned my head forward again. Why was she following me? This wasn't the way to school. Was she actually tailing me? It was a face I didn't recognize. The one thing I could tell for sure, though, was that it wasn't the demon from the other day. This girl had glasses. Just knowing that alone made me feel much more relieved. I decided I should just head straight to school. I'd have to cancel my usual morning breakfast, but I didn't have a choice.
くそ、女子 A め。
To me, you're just pedestrian 1 or girl A. No more important than that, so go away. That rhymed, and I liked it. Girl A stopped tailing me and disappeared when I got to the school entrance. She seemed to have somewhere else to go since she headed for the third-year student classrooms. Maybe I was just imagining her tailing me? But it didn't make sense that she'd follow me down a route that led away from the school. Was she just trying to upset me? Had I done something to make her mad? No, I hadn't. There was no way I could. At this school, I was as invisible as the air. So, what was she after? I somehow made it through an awful day at school, and as always, stopped at Cafe on my way home. Of course, I sat in room 37. Usually, the rooms around me were empty, but surprisingly enough, there was somebody in room 36 today. The door to the room was closed. I could see the desk light was turned on inside. I sighed a little as I went into my own room. Having someone next door made it hard to chat. I was the kind of person who always said things out loud when he chatted. Haha, it's just like me with the visual novels, haha. I'm all by myself, aren't I? Well, whatever, time to just log into ESO. I would just have to be careful not to say anything. See, I'm not by myself, I got my dog outside, it's all good.
だよこいつら。
I slammed my palm down on the keyboard, annoyed. I'd been playing for about 2 hours now. Today was just a stressful day. The pair I'd group up with were clearly new players. As always, I stayed in the background trying to let them have the glory for themselves, but one would always run in ahead of us and die, and then do it again. The other, a mage, refused to use any magic to help us. Our party must have died a dozen times. And then on top of that, all they did was complain and chat. Freaking idiots. I got so mad I PK'd them, took all their items, then quickly escaped to another area. Damn, Final Fantasy XIV could never. Nightheart couldn't do all that stuff. But, wait, how did I pronounce this last time? Lizelate? I don't even know if you're supposed to pronounce it with the A at the end. Lizelot? Let's go with that. I'm gonna change it every time. That was why I came all the way to @cafe to log in. Even so we could literally just log in with an alt at home, right? Or is there something in the guidelines where you're not supposed to use an alt, so we just gotta be on a different IP or whatever? I felt a little better, so I decided to take a break and go get something to drink. @cafe had free drinks, and a well-stocked soda fountain near the counter. The one problem with room 37 was that it was pretty far from the bar. When I left the room, I saw that the door to room 36 was open. I had to go by it if I was going to get to the soda fountain, and look, there's a couple of the Gero frogs. I took a quick peek inside as I walked by, and nobody was there. Actually, I realized I heard the sound of somebody getting up a moment ago. But there was a bag sitting next to the chair in the room. It was a student's bag. Decorative straps hung from it, stuffed animals dangling at their ends. There were Gero Froggy, the thing Nanami showed me yesterday. 3 of them, too. Maybe it really was popular. Not that I cared. If I kept staring at it and they came back, they might think I was a stalker or a thief. I decided to forget about it and go get my soda. But when I saw what was showing on their monitor, my eyes went wide. The monitor was displaying the words NewGen Aggregators Site. It was in a really nasty looking attention-grabbing font, too. NewGen. I've been deliberately avoiding looking up anything about it. I didn't want to know the details. That was how I was telling myself that it had nothing to do with me. Anyway, was there a reason the person who just happened to be in the room next to me at a net cafe was looking at a NewGen aggregator site? For a moment, I saw the demon girl's face again, and my whole body shivered. I shook my head to drive away the negative thoughts. I was overthinking it, yeah. I was just being paranoid. NewGen was the media's favorite subject right now, and not a day went by when the TV talk shows weren't discussing it. Everybody was interested in it. That was the only reason. Yeah, it had to be. Time to forget about it and go get my soda. Who are we gonna run into? I feel like it's gonna be someone from our school. What is this music, too? Is this gonna get me some claims? I put my cup under the dispenser and pushed the button for soda. Ice cold soda came down right into the cup. The sun was setting and it was starting to get crowded. I could see a small line of people waiting at the register. As it got later, more and more people were going to come. In an hour or so, all the rooms around room 37 would be full. That would probably be my cue to go home. I took my cup and went back to my seat. As I walked back, I took a quick glance down the corridor. Oh, excuse me, that led to the restrooms. Oh. Would you look at that right there? I saw a girl with glasses and a sume uniform disappearing down the end of the hall. It was Girl A, the one who'd been following me this morning. I thought I must have been mistaken, so I hid behind a bookshelf and watched the corridor for a while, but I never saw her again. I must have been imagining it, right? Yeah, I'd only seen her for a second. And there were probably a ton of sume girls who used this cafe. A lot of whom probably wore glasses. But what if it was Girl A? What was she doing here? Was it just a coincidence? Or had she followed me? I started to feel scared. Okay, well, if she is still following us, then yeah, maybe good reason to feel scared here. I left the cafe and hurried back to the base. I had gotten too scared to stay. I wanted to go home as fast as possible, but the streets were crowded with people, and I couldn't move forward as fast as I wanted. I was starting to feel sick. I hated crowds. It felt like everyone was laughing at me. The crosswalk turned red, so I had to stop. I took a quick look around. There was no sign of Girl A. As I headed up Dongenzaka Hill, walking got a lot easier. Usually I chose to take the back streets where there weren't as many people. Oh, okay. Well, that was a nice reminder of maybe we shouldn't take too many back streets. But after what happened 2 days ago, I decided to take the main streets instead. I came to another red light and looked around again, but there was no sign of Girl A. Maybe the person I'd seen at cafe was someone else after all. I relaxed a little, relieved, and turned around. And there she is. Oh, yep, there she is, right there, right there. Oh, we should make this fun. We should make this fun. Let's make it a bad delusion, yeah. I'm down for some bad shit. I took a step back in shock. There, on the other side of the crosswalk, standing with the other pedestrians, waiting to cross, was the girl. And her eyes behind her glasses were locked dead onto me. Her eyes were intense, as if she was trying to send some kind of message. I always loved the delusions in Chaos Child. I'm obviously not going to make comparisons, but it's such a fun mechanism, truly. I'm actually, like, getting excited again because, it's so much fun. You never know what's going to happen from a good or bad delusion. Maybe it was just a reflection from a passing car, but a flash of light illuminated the lenses of her glasses. I heard it. Her lips twisted as if she was mocking me. There was so much distance between us. There were so many people around us. But still, I could hear her tiny laugh. And as she laughed, she suddenly lifted up her skirt. Oh, nice. Dozens of small shiny objects fell out from inside of it. They looked like crosses. I remember the crucifixion, excuse me, I can't speak, I'd seen the other day. The look on her face was sheer insanity. Her eyes were bloodshot, her cheeks frozen, and a smile was on her lips. Then, for some reason, she started to walk across the street, even though the light was still red. I shriveled up in fear and tried to run, but my legs were rooted to the ground. I couldn't even speak. She was getting closer, crossing the street, the cross-shaped stakes in her hand. Stay away. I screamed in my mind, and then... she got isekai'd. She was hit by a truck that was driving down the road and thrown down the street. The people around me started to scream. There were too many people between us for me to see what had happened to her. But I was sure that she was dead. She was dead for sure. She was lying on the ground, broken, bones shattered and covered in blood. I'm saved, I told myself, even though I knew it was a terrible thing to think. Damn. That was an interesting one. I came back to my senses. My body was soaked with an awful sweat. The people around me weren't screaming anymore. They were simply waiting for the light to change. There was no sign of any truck. And the girl on the other side of the street was still there, staring. Was what I'd seen just a delusion? The light changed. The crowd began to move. So we're gonna like talk to her? What's gonna happen here? I couldn't move. Girl A didn't move. She didn't smile or flip up her skirt. She just stared at me. It was as if time had stopped for the two of us and no one else. Why wasn't she moving? Why was she just standing there? It didn't make sense. It was weird. I shouldn't get involved. I needed to run. I needed to run while I could. Run! I forced my timid brain into action and ran as fast as I could. I ran in the opposite direction from her and down a side street I saw. Yeah, that's gonna go well. It can only go well. I collided with something and fell on the ground hard, hitting my shoulder. I gasped in agony and as pain raced through my whole body. I couldn't tell what had happened. It was all I could do to sit up. Uh-oh. When I looked down, I saw that there was a large scooter in the middle of the street that I'd knocked over. I must have collided with it. I gritted my teeth and tried to force myself to stand up, but I couldn't feel any strength in my legs. I didn't think anything was broken, but...
大丈夫ですか?
Girl A was there. She must have caught up to me at some point. She was looking down on me, worried. What the hell was going on? Who was this woman? My body wouldn't move. I was too scared. I didn't know what to do. It was too late now, but I regretted not taking the train to Shinsen.
怪我してませんか?
Her voice was timid and hesitant. Was she trying to act worried to get me to let my guard down? You're not gonna fool me. I won't let any 3D girls fool me.
なんなんだよ。
え？
ついてくるなよ。僕に何の用だ。
I yelled at her. I still couldn't stand up, so I crawled away from her. If I didn't put some distance between us, I was afraid she might pull a knife on me. That terrible sight came back to me again and again, and I kept feeling like it was going to happen to me too. She seemed hurt.
あなたが急に走り出して様子を見に来たら倒れてたので心配で。でも今は用事とかあるわけじゃないんですが、
It's a little sus. I mean, it doesn't really explain much either. You don't have anything to talk to me about. What does that mean?
じゃあ、なんで付きまとってくるんだ。
それは、
She was stammering. It was really suspicious.
私、 崎優愛って言います。
I hadn't asked, but she introduced herself anyway.
実はあなたのこと一目見てなんとなく存在が気になって。
That's also kind of sus.
それでつい。
So you started stalking me. The girl Yua was staring at the ground as she talked.
ごめんなさい。
She bowed. Impossible. That was my honest reaction. Now that I got a clear look at her, this Yua girl was pretty cute. I'll admit that. But that doesn't mean I could believe it. A 3D girl interested in me? What kind of H-game scenario was that? That had never happened in my entire life. It sounded to me like an obvious lie. Did she think this would make me happy, especially when she'd been acting like a stalker a moment ago? Maybe if she was 2D it might work, but a 3D girl like that was just a weirdo. Scary. I felt really embarrassed just being here too. I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible. 3D girls were just the worst. Even talking to one made you nervous.
僕は三次元に興味はないよ。
え？
いや、
I tried to say something harsh but hesitated. But I knew if I didn't say it, she'd keep stalking me. I didn't want that.
迷惑だよ。つきまとわないでよ。
すいません。
Damn, that was harsh. She looked sad. Did she really feel bad about it, maybe? No, I couldn't let her fool me. I couldn't believe in any 3D person. I only believed in 2D, nothing else. I could trust Seraton a lot more than I could trust her.
もうついてこないでね。僕帰るから。
I forced myself to stand up as I stammered out the words. My whole body still hurt, especially my shoulder. I could barely move it, and every so often I'd feel a dull ache from it. The pain was making me a little dizzy. I might have hit my head a little when I landed. I staggered for a moment, and Yua quickly grabbed my hand.
怪我してるんですね。手貸します。
It was all I could do not to turn to look at her. I knew my face was bright red. If she saw it, she'd definitely make fun of me. I knocked her hand away violently so that I could turn away from her. My mind was going blank. I almost never had a chance to touch a girl who wasn't a family member. I could feel my heartbeat quickening.
お家まで送ります。あなたが怪我したのは私が付きまとっちゃったせいですから。だから送らせてください。
I appreciated her offer. I wasn't used to having anybody be nice to me, and I felt like I might actually fall in love with this 3D girl I'd hated just a moment ago. What a quick turn of events. But that didn't mean I had the courage to look straight at her. And anyway, she was a stalker. She might have something to do with that demon girl too. I didn't want to die. So many different thoughts were racing through my head that I didn't know what I felt anymore.
お家どこですか？
深セン。
深セン？
I nodded and then realized what I'd done. Why the hell did I tell her that? What was I expecting to happen? This was just a delusion anyway. Or even if it wasn't, I would only be happy for a while longer if it all got ruined at the last second. That's how it always worked out in anime, right? I could feel the death flags popping up by the second. Crap. Now she was up against me, trying to help me walk. I could feel her soft body up against mine. Her hair smelled good. Impossible. No 3D girl would ever be this nice to me.
歩けますか？
I nodded again.
じゃあ行きましょう。
She sounded nervous, and she was watching my feet as we slowly walked. At this point, I didn't feel like I could refuse or shake her off. Helplessly, I let her tiny body support me as we went. Oh, what have we got ourselves into now? That's the big question. And damn, we really stayed silent the entire time we were walking over here. Jesus. That must have been fun. Alright, we'll save it here. I think this was fun. This was a good episode. so far I'm having a lot of fun. You know, not really knowing what the hell is going on, but having like a sneaking feeling just because this isn't my entirely blind adventure. But I really don't actually know what is going to happen next. I had a general idea of how everything started, but now that we kind of got through all the stuff that I remember kind of very vaguely, everything from here on is pretty fresh. So yeah, it'll be good getting through this. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.